Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. This video is brought to you today by Sophisticated and Swanky, your one-stop shop for women's clothing. Use discount code AFM2024 for 25% off all items. Now let's get to some racing. All right, this is CBR number 1, the first race of the season, and this is the women's P123 race. The video is brought to you courtesy of Camila Arenas. Camila is one of the athletes that I coach, and yeah, she does a great job in this race. So this is our first race of the season, and yeah, it's a hot one. I mean, there's some big hitters in the race, and the girls, they're eager to race and brought out some good tactics for the race. There was a lot of attacks and some pretty high speed stuff here. So yeah, before the race, Camilla and I went over all the race tactics and things like that and what the game plan was. And to be honest with you, she did a pretty good job. She, she followed the game plan for the most part. And, I'm not going to give away our trade secrets or anything, but, anybody that knows Camilla knows she's pretty fiery, and you see a little near incident there. I think the lady in front just overcorrected a little bit, like maybe oversteered, and she didn't know exactly if Colleen was coming through or not, and kind of almost ran into the back of Colleen. But life happens. So anyway, the race starts off a little bit chill here, and it's a little funny because watching the race, on the front straight, we kind of thought the race was chill, more often than not. But now that I've seen the video, there's a lot that goes on the backside of the course that, we can't see live when we're there. And yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good race, pretty hot race. The overall average speed wasn't that high, but I think some of the, just the level of intensity from some of the attacks were pretty intense. It's funny, it's a new year and a lot of people have new kits or new teams, and there's a lot of people in the race that at the time I did not recognize. And even in the video, sometimes I don't recognize who it is just because they're either on a new team or, or they're changed kits. So I see there, Colleen kind of moved over to the left and is not really wanting to pull everybody around the course. So she just kind of shut it down and is just kind of chilling now. This is a long video, so, I know you guys get tired of hearing my voice anyway. So I'm going to be quiet at a lot of, parts of the video. And, I'll try to comment when I see something or when the action picks up a little bit. And ideally, I'd rather have Camilla here with me breaking down the video, especially since she's in the race. And, I know sometimes women like to hear a woman over the voice. Doing the voiceover instead of a man. So here goes a pretty intense attack. Kind of did it at the spot where the course changes speeds, going from like the slowest point at that uphill there on the front straight to the fastest point of the course here on the downhill. That's Felicia right there in front of us from CFT. They have new uniforms as well. I didn't recognize her at first either because they used to have blue and white uniforms, and now they have the maroon and black and maroon. So yeah, that was a short-lived attack, but pretty good acceleration there. Just kind of stretch out the field and test everybody's legs. Like I said at the beginning, there's some pretty big hitters in this race. I believe Colleen Golick and Chloe Patrick, I believe they were both on the national team for the, what's it called? I forgot what it's called. I'm not big on indoor cycling, but yeah, on the indoor national team. So I believe it's one of the sprint events. But yeah, just, two riders from the U.S. team is, that's a pretty good field to begin with. And there's some other hitters in the race as well, including a lot of our local legends. Felicia is doing a good job here, just kind of setting the pace. I think the gradient kicked in a little bit late because this definitely is a false front and a false flat, and it's kind of uphill on the front straight there. But for a little while, it was saying 0%, and I'm pretty sure it's uphill the entire way. So I know Camilla doesn't want to be on the front too often today, so she's kind of looking around too to see if anybody's going to come by or if anyone's going to attack again. It's like no one's taking the bait here. No one wants to go out front and pull. So definitely, anytime it's slow like this, you can pretty much be sure that there's gonna be an attack here. You know, it's 19 miles per hour. For P123 race, they really should never be under 20 miles per hour, and even 20 is pretty slow. So we're down to 16. I saw 16 at one point. So yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna attack. No one's gonna kind of ride around at this pace. And anytime, if you're in a race, so anytime it's slow like this, you got to be prepared to accelerate. Don't get stuck in a heavy gear just being bogged down with the slow cadence because, like I said, anytime it's slow, there's definitely going to be an attack. And there you go. Pretty much right on cue. So Camilla hits about 750 watts here just on this little attack. That's Sarah Vargas right there too in the black. I didn't even notice I didn't even see her on Sunday, and I didn't notice her because she's wearing black right now. Not riding up with the team. I didn't actually notice until I was looking at the weekend's photos on Island Cyclist. So yeah, it's just like I said, it's a new year. People have new kits, new teams, things of that nature. So here's the preem lap. I thought Camilla got the preem here, but I think Jade takes it right there at the line. So good job to Jade. She raced pretty aggressively this weekend as well. Did a great job. But yeah, I thought Camilla had the preem, and I think Jade just, clipped her at the line or held her off at the line. I was saying I didn't recognize Sarah, and it's just kind of funny because, I met her a few years ago, and she was a lot smaller, obviously younger, and being that she's, a junior, they grow fast, so she's pretty big now. She's tall, and, just, yeah, I still think of her as like small, but, she's definitely not that anymore, and she's definitely super fast, and just good to see her riding in the P123s. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. I guess it means I'm getting old, but to see people grow up kind of is, it's just kind of weird sometimes. So again, yeah, the ladies are playing games today, back down to 17 miles per hour. Definitely suits you if you're kind of a punchy rider to be slow like this and then just hit the big attacks. And if you're not prepared for that, it's going to definitely tax your legs. So it seems to be a theme, turn 2, shut it down, turn 3 and 4, pick it up and attack. I think that's Morgan going off the front on a little flyer there with Georgetta chasing her. Once again, a 700 plus watt acceleration from Camilla here to just try to jump on the back of Colleen. So again, a second ago you're at 16, 17 miles per hour, and then we hit up to 31 miles per hour. So, when they decide to go, they can really get it going. Georgetta got tassels under the seat. Watching these two right here on the front, I feel like I'm watching watching them on the track. Just looks like they're waiting for that final sprint. Definitely the slowest we've seen the race, 15 miles per hour. I think I saw an elbow flick there. It's like nobody wants to put in that work. Nobody wants to set the pace. But that's normal when there's not when no one has a number of teammates. Everyone's kind of individual this weekend. I don't think I remember anyone out there with too many teammates. So, yeah, that's about right. When you're an individual, you're not going to be doing too much work to everyone else's benefit. So, yeah, so I think Colleen flicked her right elbow like 3 times. So she thought, maybe maybe they can't see it. I'll flick the left elbow. So finally, Camilla comes through with a little acceleration here. It's a good job by Camilla there. Just nice turn, nice smooth apex. Um, you know, it, it's not like it's a big deal or anything. It's normal. It should be normal for everyone. But often, people don't take the greatest lines. And especially when you have your choice of lines, you definitely should be efficient and carry a little easier speed there and hit the apex in the right spot. So we got a big move going off here, a big attack, which again, like I said, anytime the speed slows down like that, someone's going to attack. And, doing it the proper way, they came from way back, trying to sneak attack, get a good boost on everyone, get their speed up. All right, so I think that might be Tess Edwards right there trying to run it down. Camilla's putting in the effort now to get on the top, get on back to, kind of get linked back up. But like our game plan, she is following what we said and what we stated by not trying to run this down all the way. So yeah, that's a great discipline of just not putting in too much effort to run that down. All right, it looks like it's all back together again. Everybody's back in cruise mode. Again, this is the fastest part of the circuit here. So usually you're going to be a lot closer to 30 miles per hour. But again, this has been a pretty much a stop and go type of race, and just a lot of games being played. And also, I just want to make a little point here. Obviously, I make a lot of videos, and usually they're of my races or my wife's races. Sometimes Marlena, and who wasn't able to race in this race. She was scheduled to race today, but wasn't able to race because being in a crash in the 345 race. And then sometimes Camilla's videos as well, or I have Camilla wear one of my cameras and record, like today. But yeah, I just want to point out that, when I critique the videos or whatever, it's hard to say this, but, please don't take it personal or anything. I know I'm personally talking about someone, but I'm not talking about you as a person. I'm just talking about whatever I see on camera. I know sometimes people take it the wrong way, and I really do try to do my best of, being considerate and respectful to everyone. I understand that you don't ask for me to make a comment about you or anything, but we're athletes. This is a race. We're athletes. We're in open competition, and whether we're at the race, live and see someone do something, we all kind of have our opinions and different things like that. I make these videos just for the most part, originally trying to educate like newer riders and things like that. But I just love the sport, honestly. And, I'm going to keep recording for people to see themselves on video and for others to watch and kind of get engaged with the races. So sometimes I have to point out something, or at least I feel the need to point out something. It's not that everybody's going to always agree with it, but I do want everyone to understand that it's not personal. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. It's just if I see an action on camera, I make a comment about that action. It's not about a person, not about their personality or who they are as an individual. It's just a one-time thing or whatever on a video that we saw in one race. And if I do offend you, please come up and talk to me or something. Not just throw words at me on the internet or anything like that. Just come up and talk. And it's never my intentions to insult anybody. I shouldn't say never, but at least not on my videos. There goes attack number 458 up the right side. Looks like it has a lot of steam on it as well. Yeah, this definitely has a little punch to it. The attack seems a little bit different. I don't know if it's another preem lap or if this is a real move. Now this is more like it right here. Keep that speed a little higher and sustain all the way around the course is a lot better. See a little battle for the wheel up there too with I don't know if that's Jade and maybe Chloe Patrick, but yeah, a little bit of battling for a wheel. No overreaction though. You know, they're not being too aggressive, just a little bit of stubbornness. Now that's something I don't like to see there, and you know, I'm not the authority on anything, but we should not have big lateral movements. When you have big lateral movements, usually bad things come from that. So if you saw a second ago, all the girls darted to the right. Anytime you have abrupt lateral movements, you know, that's a kind of recipe for disaster. Nothing happened in that instance right there, but overall, the more abrupt lateral movements you have in any type of bunch races, mass start races, things like that, usually they don't end too well. So it's just my 2 cents. I just think anything lateral should be, you know, a little smoother. Um, yeah. This is another big dig here. Got the speed really high for, you know, it must be a premier. But that's 2 laps in a row, so may have been 2 back-to-back preems. Or we're just trying to get the break going. It's really a good effort, though. All right, looks like Camilla shut it down, and it doesn't look like anyone else came through. So yeah, this move is over. And we're back down to group ride pace. So it's crazy. If you see to the right over there, at some point Camilla did 840 watts as like a peak power, and usually it's a little higher. This doesn't actually typically show the exact peak, so that might be her 3-second power there. That's 41 watts. But unfortunately, it wasn't on the final sprint. You know, it was on one of these attacks. So, but that just lets you know at 115 pounds, 841 watts just lets you know like the type of intensity that's going into some of these attacks. And usually they're not even attacks for her. She's covering a move. She's trying to hang on a wheel because I don't think she started any of the attacks this, you know, on this day. You know, too, shout out to everybody that's in the race as well, because I think, you know, everyone that decided to race, they came in pretty fit as far as I can see. I don't remember too many girls off the back. I don't know if I remember any girls off the back. So, yeah, for the most part, the group stayed together pretty good. So, you expect nothing less from than people to come prepared. But usually, our first race of the season, you know, not everyone's in the same type of fitness or anything like that. So, Yeah, it was definitely a good group, and with all these attacks, I really don't remember too many people off the back. I'm sure there was somebody, but I really don't remember too many people off the back. Yeah, and for the future races, I'll try to have one of the girls on the channel as well. Obviously one of them that's in the race, and it's a lot better coming from them, what they were doing, what's going on, what they remember, just hearing kind of what their mind state was going through the race. It's just right now there's not schedule wise, we're not matching schedules, and I'm going to be gone the rest of the week, so I kind of got to get the video out, or I can sit on it forever and then display it when nobody at a time that nobody cares about it. So definitely there was a little split there in the peloton for a little bit. And shout out to Felicia too. She's on the front a lot this race. Yeah, I'm not sure if she exactly wants to be there, but yeah, she's definitely running up front and was, out front a lot, and doesn't look like anyone wants to come around. But as we've seen so far throughout the race, there's been a lot of games played to begin with, so I'm sure there's just a couple seconds of this, and then there's going to be another attack. Yeah, this is one of those races that when it goes slow like this, you definitely do not want to be caught in the inside. You got to be on the right or the left, just because when that move goes off, you're going to need some a little bit of room to try to accelerate and latch on, especially on if it's a move that sticks and you're caught in the inside and can't react to it. Yeah, it'd be lights out. All right, so it looks like we're just about 10 laps to go now. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 9 laps. It's a fairly big course, it's roughly 2 minutes a lap. Got some serious cross wheeling going on over there on the right side. I know it's slow and it's not the end of the world, but just got to be careful where you stick your front wheel. So here it goes, ramping up the speed again. This definitely makes it a tough race though, because going that slow, then going on the uphill, using all the power instead of using momentum. Yeah, I'm definitely sure it's taxing some people's legs. I'd be one of them. I definitely need to hit hills with momentum. I just got some weak legs. I'm digging the new PRT kits right there. They look pretty nice. Yeah, I think those are the kits I like the best from them over the last few years. They've changed the kits a couple years. I think a couple times over the last few years, but I like that style right there. I think Camilla could be a little more patient right here. She's looking around because I know she's anticipating that attack. But yeah, I'd rather just be a little more calm, sit here, and get a little bit more of a consistent break as far as watts. You see how she's fluctuating, high 200s and then down to almost nothing, then high 200s. Might be a little easier just to kind of chill and relax a little bit and sit behind Tess there. And if somebody goes, then you can react to it. I think that was Jade that had went off the front on that last lap, maybe on the downhill. I can't remember if that's where she attacked or not. Or maybe she attacks here, I'm not sure. There goes the attack. That's Colleen, though. She definitely got that speed up, too. You guys are at 32 miles per hour before turn one, which is, like I said, is a false flat. I do think the line there could have been wider instead of hugging back to this right side, especially getting it up to 32. You definitely could have swung it wide, kept a little bit better momentum. You should not be going slower here. With going 32 miles per hour out of turn one, I don't think it should be down to 25 by turn two, especially on the downhill there. Even without going hard, you usually can carry momentum there if the line would have stayed to the left instead of hugging it back right and scrubbing off all that speed. It's a good job by Camilla moving up a couple spots here on the inside without using too many watts. All right, I think we're down to about 5 laps to go here. It's definitely crunch time. Things get a little critical. You know, in general, like in races that are a little bit more flowing, definitely in those last 5 laps, you really have to protect your position a lot. You know, for sure coming into the last 2 laps. But in this race is maybe not as critical just because there's so many games playing with the on-off speed. You do want to be somewhere near the front, though, so you don't get caught out in these last few laps. But you just have a little bit more time just because, you know, the pace is slowing down. And by now, I'm sure everybody should know kind of the rhythm of the race and where it's slowing down at, where the attacks are coming from. But yeah, we're definitely getting into crunch time here with about 5 laps to go. Could even be a little less, could be 4 laps to go. Not really sure. Once again, it feels like the quiet before the storm, because I'm sure someone's going to attack again. You know, with such an on-off slow and fast speed, it's kind of hard for me to predict how many laps are left. It's actually probably only 3 laps left or so. Like I said at the beginning, it's not like the fastest overall speed race or anything like that. I think they average, or I think Camilla averaged 22 something miles per hour. But just the way it's raced, I'm sure it's pretty taxing just with the on-off. You know, it's kind of like you just, I don't know, doing 20 plus sprints throughout this race. I don't think this is the last lap. I think there's one more, maybe 1 or 2 more laps after this. Yeah, it's probably two more laps, or when they cross the finish line the next time, it might be 2 laps to go. Just funny how much tension can be in a race from going this slow. You can see everybody's hunched over just waiting for someone to attack. Look like there's a lot of tension in people's body here. It's a good job by Camilla moving up a couple spots, not wanting to fall too far behind. When I'm recording like this, I can't hear anything, so I don't know if that was a bell lap or not, if there's one more to go. I'm guessing there's 2 laps to go here. Still got Felicia on the front up there. Like I said, she was on the front a lot. I know she didn't want to be up there like all race, but she was on the front a lot up there. Just nobody wanting to come through. Not sure if this is the last lap here. No, not the last lap. Definitely another attack there. I can't see who that is that goes off the front. Might be Georgetta. I think it is Georgetta. So I think we have 2 laps to go right now. And I think that's Georgetta accelerating there off the front. Yeah, definitely pretty much sure it's 2 laps to go. Once they cross the finish line, it's going to be 1 lap to go, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, near collision there. I think the young lady almost just ran into the back of someone, but yeah, so I think that was Georgetta that, did that little flyer there, set the pace hot. And now I think we're going into the last lap. It's pretty bunched up. Like I said, this is the fastest part of the course here, and we definitely should be going close to 30 miles per hour here, especially going into the last lap. But like I said, if you look, there's no teammates. No one has, not even 2 people have the same jersey on. So there's definitely no one that, can sacrifice themselves and set the pace a little higher. I don't know if that's 2 aviators or not, but other than that, I don't see anybody with a teammate. So yeah, so there's no one to sacrifice for you or to help you out and keep the pace going hot. So everybody's just kind of sitting saying, hey, I'm not gonna go out there and use my energy for everyone else. So right here, Camilla makes a critical mistake here. As you can see, she was at the front waiting, and then just a lapse in concentration, and she falls back too far here. And you see up front, it starts to stretch out. Now, as you turn the corner there, look how far Camilla is back. She's basically in last place here, and she sprints here trying to get back up to the front. So it's a massive effort by her. I looked at her 1 minute power because this is basically a 1 minute effort. And it's a pretty big effort. I mean, she's over 400 watts for the 1 minute. And this kind of determines the fate of her race right here. She does a great job coming out, getting back up here to like 4th, 5th wheel, hitting the front straight. She leaves a little bit too much room there, so Chloe flies through, and she just doesn't have a sprint now. So you see Colleen on the other side takes off, but because she fell back and had to use all that power getting back up to the front, she just didn't have a sprint whatsoever. So great job to the ladies in front. Great job to Morgan getting that podium there. And yeah, great job from Camilla just getting back up there. It just sucks that she had that little lapse in concentration and fell back so far going into turn 3. So thanks for watching. Sorry that it was so long and boring, and we'll see you next time.